What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and we're going to get right into week 7, my previews, my picks of the games for this week. And to start things off, we are going to be in Arlington. It's going to be on a Friday night, which is kind of crazy. We're going to get a Friday night football game. I'm kind of excited about that, and big part of that is because it starts at 7 p.m. It's going to be on FX. Like I said, we're going to be in Arlington. They have the Sea Dragons coming to town, and it seems like the Sea Dragons of late have been playing the first game of the week. I don't know. It's been good for them, so I'm okay with that. Now, the Sea Dragons are giving up 4.5 points to the home underdog Renegades. Over-under in this one is 37.5 points. Now, to break this game down, first and foremost, the Dragons need to stop the bleeding. The issue that has plagued the Dragons all year long have been the turnovers. If they can just get rid of the turnovers, this team literally is championship bound. That's really it. They have all of the pieces in place that they need to be a championship team. They just need to quit making the mistakes. The reason why I say that and I make such a big deal about holding on to the ball and keeping the ball tight, protecting this thing. The reason why I spend so much time and I keep reiterating it. It really has to do with it this week. They are going up against one of the best teams when it comes to takeaways, really one of the best defenses in the league. They really... DiNucci really needs to watch what he's doing in this game. And a lot of it really is going to come down to that. Is he going to make those mistakes that he shouldn't? Those interceptions in the end zone, throwing the ball when he shouldn't, when he needs to throw the ball away, or just get down. If he can make good decisions, this game isn't going to be even close. Unfortunately, I don't know if DiNucci can help himself in this situation and not do that. Looking at the defensive side of things, and they need to get after Plitt. Plitt is going to be the guy for them, even though they brought in Perez. They've already kind of put it out there on social media that Perez is not going to be ready to go. They've done interviews. Bob Stoops have done interviews and stuff, and we've seen that, they're not confident in Perez being ready to go. They released Sloter, so Sloter's not on the team anymore. They're going to go with Plitt. I at this point, he might be the best option if they don't feel comfortable with Perez going in that offense. But if they can get after Plitt, they can really disrupt him. That offense is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do anything. That offense hasn't done anything all year. They probably are the worst offense in the league. And if it wasn't for their defense, they wouldn't be sitting where they're sitting, with 3 wins. They wouldn't have really any wins at all. So as I'm looking at this, that defense, which is it's a good defense that's really been coming on the last couple weeks. If they can get after him, they're going to cause some turnovers and they're going to have a big day. That defense is. Last week, they were really helped out by the penalties on the Guardians, the mistakes by the Guardians, and the special teams play by their team. Guys getting really good returns, pump blocks, things like that. This week, they need to get back to their bread and butter. They need to get back to some explosive plays. And yes, the returns were explosive plays last week, but their offense, again, like I said before, it was short fields for them. But this week they're going to need to get back to their bread and butter and really opening up that offense. I think if they could get a few of those shots, hit 3 or 4 big shots, they're easily going to win this game. Really 1 or 2. I think that this game is definitely in the bag for them. Turning around and looking at the Renegades here, this is Plitt's last shot. They brought in Perez. They're going to try to go with Perez, and actually I think Perez fits Hayes' style of offense. Just a guy to come in, to be a distributor. I think that he fits in this type of system better than where he was at with the Vipers. The Vipers offense needed a little bit more of an athletic quarterback, a quarterback. Even though that Perez did have some decent numbers, it just he never felt right and he never looked right in that offense. This offense is going to be much more tailored towards him. He's not there yet. This is Plitt's last shot to be the starter there, to be the guy. I mean, Plitt will have more opportunities. Probably USFL, maybe down the road, maybe the XFL on another team. But I've seen what they've done. I see what they're going to do, and I don't see anything really changing for this offense with Plitt being the quarterback, and especially the way that the Dragons defense has been playing. It's not going to be a good day for him. But listen, hey, when a guy's back is against the wall, you never know. That's that's what separates the men from the boys, and we'll see what happens with Plitt. The Renegades, the defense is just going to need to get takeaways. That offense is going to be dismal. I don't see much from that offense, whether it be running the ball, passing the ball. I don't see them converting, doing much. Their defense is really going to need to get some takeaways, and their defense is they're going to have to score if they're going to keep up or be in this game at all. So that defense is just going to need to do what they've done all year. I mean, the sad thing is that if they had any semblance of an offense, this team could be a really, really nice team. They're just missing the offense, and I think a lot of it has to do with the offensive philosophy, and they're also missing a quarterback. I think if they changed up some of the offensive philosophy and they were able to have a fairly decent quarterback. Now, who knows? Perez might be the guy for them. We'll see, but I will say I will give credit to Bob Stoops and the staff here. They understand that they're not out of things yet. They still have a playoff shot, and they're trying to set things up for them to get that last playoff spot and really make a run in the playoffs. That's what they're trying to do. That's why they went out and they got Perez. So I think that this coaching staff here is trying to do what they can to really turn things around for them, get things back on track, and get into the playoffs. And I think that Perez was a really good move for them to bring him in. Speaking of that, as I've said week in, week out, they need a star, but really they need a leader. And I think Perez can be that leader for them. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen this week. It's going to have to wait another week for him. Who knows? I mean, if things go really south real quick, he might get in there and he might play, but I don't see that happening. But again, this team, if they can find a leader, they're gonna do really, really well. My thoughts on how the game's gonna play out. I think that the Dragons are gonna get their offensive back. The Dragons are gonna score. I think they're gonna make some mistakes, but I don't think that offense is gonna be able to do anything. Defense is gonna score once. They're gonna have one drive where they actually score. And I see the Dragons just being able to go back to what they've been doing, really potent offense. And this game, I see them being able to punch the ball into the end zone as opposed to just getting field goals. I've got a 29-12 win and definitely go with the over and take the Dragons on this one. I think it's going to be a nice win for Seattle there in Arlington. I don't really feel like Arlington is a home field advantage for this Renegades team, just because that's where everybody practices, that's where everybody's located. So it's kind of like a home game because nobody really needs to travel. So it's a home game for everybody. And the crowds there aren't really large enough for them to really take advantage, even though I think they've got good fans there in Arlington. They need in that place, they need about 5,000 to 10,000 more people in there to really, really put any pressure on that opposing team, on the away team in that one. Now, let's go ahead and let's change gears and let's move on to Saturday's game, and we're going to do just the first game on Saturday. This is a 3 p.m. game. This game's going to be on ESPN2, and we're going to be back in Cashman Field. I think it's the last game at Cashman Field. I'm done with the place. I'm ready to move on. Hopefully, if they stay in Vegas next year, they find a different place than this. Cashman Field was just not a good place at all. it might be a good experience for the fans there, but it's a terrible viewing experience for us fans. Even as they've gotten better with things and the weather's gotten better, it hasn't. Unfortunately, the angles and where you're getting everything is not good. We have the Brahmas coming in here, so we got the San Antonio Brahmas coming in, and they're facing the hometown Vegas Vipers. The Vipers are actually giving up 3 points to the Brahmas. The over-under's 39.5 here. Which really shocks me that with everything that's been going on with the Vipers, and the way that the Brahmas won last week, that you would think that the Brahmas would be coming in with the high, that they would be kind of the ones that would be giving up points, but they're not. The Brahmas here, it's really Kurt Benkert is really the guy here. I really liked it, and I know that his stats really don't really show it. I mean, when you So pulling it up here, looking at his stats. So you got Benkert, 1 completion out of 6 attempts, and he had 1 interception. I'll be honest though, I like the way that he looked over all the other guys. Juwan Pass didn't look terrible. It'll be interesting to see. I just really like the command with Benkert. The other guys around him really seem to respond with him. It doesn't. I don't know. We'll see if we will get Balaj back or not. But Patrick did a decent job last week, and I think if they keep feeding him, I think he'll do well. He seems to, as he gets more consistently better. He gets better with more reps, and so with him being kind of more of the guy there and getting more of the reps, I think that he will do well. The defense needs to play smart in this one because really we don't know what the Vipers are going to do. They've got rid of their guy who's been the quarterback. Perez is gone. He's off of the team. So we're going to be looking at, you've either got McClendon or you've got or you got Hundley. So one of those two guys for Vegas is going to be the quarterback there in that situation. So with this defense, they're going to have to figure out how to stop this offense with a different style of quarterback in there. These two guys are going to be way different than Luis Perez, and how Luis Perez manages the game. They are going to manage it different, which I think that's why they need to be smart here, is because you just don't really know what you're getting into, because really all of this is all unknown with both of those quarterbacks. And so they just need to, play smart and not necessarily not be aggressive, but play smart. And when they got Benkert in there, they need to open up this offense. They really need to show they've got talent on that roster, and they need to let it show. And I just liked his energy. I really do. I think that if they could take some more shots, allow him to be the leader out there. I think that this Brahmas team really has life, and they're really looking up. They are a game. They're a game behind right now of being in the playoffs. And if the Dragons take care of business against Arlington, that really gives them really good incentive to pick up this game. So I really would like to see this offense open up, and I think that they can. I think that they're going to get a spark from being able to tie things up and get themselves into going into week 8 in like a playoff spot. Now, looking into the Vipers, I really don't know what's going on with this team. And, they had the win, which, people are like, okay, they're riding the ship. And then last week things fell apart. And I don't see them getting any better. Even with whoever's going to be the new quarterback, whether it's going to be Hundley, whether it's going to be McClendon. It looks like that McClendon's going to be their guy. He's been hurt all season, and, he's activated now. They made a big deal. I mean, not really a big deal about it, but they put it out on Twitter, and they put a QB1 thing next to him. So I don't know if he's going to be starting. What's the deal with that? But these guys are going to be more of a pass a passing quarterback that is also going to be able to run the ball, which I think will help to run up that to open up that run game. The run game has just been atrocious this whole year, and I think if they can get a little bit more consistency, and if they have to pay attention to the quarterback running the ball, whether it just be scrambling, I think you're going to see a little bit more RPO with this team. I think that'll open up their running game, and they need to get a little bit more from their running game. They can't just let the defense, especially that Brahmas defense, sit back and just pick them off. They're going to need to get the run game in and going on this one. Whoever is the quarterback. And then their defense is going to need to play smart as well, because I think that the Brahmas can really take advantage of them, and the Vipers defense they have a hard time of keeping composure on defense, so they really need to play smart. This is a different kind of smart than what I said with the Brahmas. The Brahmas need to be smart because you just don't really know what they're going to do and what they're going to bring at you, so you really need to watch what you're doing and pay attention to it. Whereas the Vipers just go, and sometimes they don't pay attention to what they do, to where they really hurt themselves with penalties for over pursuit, for going way too hard after the whistle. They get a lot of penalties on defense that keep drives alive, and then they get themselves so far in a hole that they can't dig out of it. They need to be smarter on the front end of things and just have some composure, and I think that this defense will do well. I see this game just playing out in the Brahmas' favor. The Brahmas are on a high. I think they're going to continue on with that, especially if the Renegades lose. They're going to see the opportunity there, take it. I think that Ben Kurt is going to be the guy who's going to lead this team. He's going to be a leader on that team. The Vipers, I see them spiraling, continuing down. I don't see them in a good spot. They really don't have a whole lot to play for, other than the idea of getting themselves an opportunity to play in the NFL next year. The quarterback situation, we'll see if one of them steps up and be a leader. We really haven't seen a lot of Hundley. He was partly injured, and they haven't really been playing him, and McClendon's been injured, so we don't know what's going on there. There's just a lot of question marks for me, which I don't understand where that 3 points is coming from in this one. I see the Brahmas, because of where they're at, the trajectory where they're going, I see them winning this one. It's not going to be a huge, big win, but I think it's going to be a win enough. I think it's going to be a 21-12 win. The Vipers are going to get a little bit, but I think that as the game goes on, they're just going to find opportunities and ways to get themselves in a hole that they can't get out of, like they've done just about every other game but that Guardians game. And really, they kept making mistakes in the Guardians game. The difference was the Guardians couldn't capitalize on it, and the Guardians kept making worse mistakes than they did. This one's going to be an under, and that's how I feel the first two games of the Week 7 is going to go. Let me know down in the comment section what you think, and we'll continue the conversation on down there. Listen, guys, I know that you're busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night.